Hi Flosstube, I'm Pam. Welcome to my channel, Stitching in the Land of Good Enough. Today is Tuesday, December 24th, Christmas Eve. Happy holidays, everyone. This is my annual end of year recap video. WIP parade, finish parade, back from the framer parade. It's the video where I show all the things. I am filming this on Christmas Eve, but I'm probably not going to upload this till the day after Christmas. So I hope that you all have a wonderful holiday. It is snowing here right now, which is super fun. I feel like I'm sitting in a little snow globe looking out the front windows of the shop. And we have snow on the ground from earlier, late last week, which is like really fun. We haven't had snow on the ground in my area of New England in almost 20 years. I think it was like 2007. So what is that, like 17 years since the last time we've had snow on the ground for Christmas? So it just feels really festive out right now, like a quintessential New England Christmas. Okay, I am gonna jump right into my bags and boxes of things because I don't, I imagine it's going to take a little bit of time. Not a ton. Normally I make a little note of how many WIPs I have. I think I started 2024 with 25 WIPs. And I had 4.9 finishes. I'm saying it that way because I will have another finish by the time the end of the year happens. What do we have, like a week left? I will have another finish before the end of the year. So let's say 5 finishes. I'm abandoning 3 projects, so that's a -8. But then I started, oh no, wait, I'm totally lying to you. I started the year with 23 projects. None of this really matters to anyone but me. But I started the year with 23 projects. And I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I had 12 starts this year, and I'm only taking off 8. So this was a positive year in which I grew more WIPs and I didn't shrink them. So, but that's okay. Sometimes you can have years like that. That seems to be most years for me. Okay, anyway, let's I said I was gonna jump right in, and then I went into statistics here. Okay, so I am gonna show something that was not a start or a finish this year. It's not a WIP. It is a back from the framer that I completely forgot to show this year. So we are gonna start the video off with my June bug. She is back from the framer. She was back from the framer, I think, way back in like September or October, and I completely forgot to show her. I don't think I showed her. So this is June Bug by Nora Corbett, and I am so in love with the frame. I went with like a big, thick, kind of chunky frame. It feels antique-y to me. Antique-y? Is it a word? I'm not sure. And I love her. She hangs in the shop. She makes my heart happy. And she sparkles, which I know is not going to come across on the video. This is like, if I were a June bug, this is what I would look like. Okay. I'll show you my WIP list. This is my WIP list. Purple are things I finished and orange are things I've abandoned. And I did not bring my projects that I'm abandoning here to show because my boxes were getting full, and that's okay. But I do need to put my glasses on to read. Okay, so first up is A Year at Hop Run Hollow. This was my New Year, New Start from 2020, and it is also going to be my last finish of this year. I plan on putting the last stitches into her on New Year's Eve. So this is what she's gonna look like when she's done. She pretty much looks like this now. There's just a little bit left. I was really stitching like crazy on her last night. She is on 40 count Legacy by Picture This Plus. Also, I never want to stitch on 40 count again, ever. This one killed me. And here's where she's at. Like, I am so close to being done. I did brighten her up a little bit. So she's a little brighter, especially like these Mayflowers in the middle. Those are really dark, and the called fors. Just because some of the blocks needed to be brighter for the month they were. I did have someone recently ask me like what I did for a conversion, and I'll be honest, I have no idea. I just pulled DMC out on when I was working on them, and then I put them back when I was done, and I don't know what they are. So here is what needs to be finished still. I have 2 little fish that go right here, and then just that little corner needs to get filled in with black. So I think I'm gonna work on this. I'm gonna pop these 2 fish in this week, and then I'm saving that black fill-in for Christmas Eve. Not Christmas Eve, that's today. Not happening today. New Year's Eve. I'm gonna do the rest of that black fill-in on New Year's Eve, and then it will be done. Will have been 5 full years of stitching, and I cannot wait for this to be off my WIP list and on a wall. It will immediately go to the framer, and it will hang in the shop when it's done. I'm trying to be neat about this. Okay. Itchy nose. Next up is, I wish that I could see my writing without my glasses. Celtic Tree of Life by Artisy Cross Stitch. This is what I call my husband's project. We picked this out. He was going to learn how to cross stitch, and this is what he picked. And then he got like 4 stitches in and decided he hated it. So now it's my project. I'm hoping to get this done next year. It is being done on 14 count antique white Aida. And like, it's close. It's probably like 2/3 done. So that you'll see, I think, quite a bit in the rotation next year. Because these are all 2021 starts now, the next like 4 or 5. I would like to get all my starts from 2021 off my plate next year. Off my WIP list. Okay, and then I have my Nantucket Girls sampler by Plum Street. This one is now my last project that I have going on 40 count, and I'm really hoping to get it done next year so that I have no more 40 count left. It is being stitched on 40 count Thesby. I think that's the fabric. Hold on. I probably have it. I do have a note. 40 count Thesby by Seraphim. And here is, I was hoping to get halfway done this year on her, but shoot, I forgot to show you what she's gonna look like. This is the Nantucket Girls sampler. And I'm almost done with the top half. All the words are done. There's a few little motifs that happen at the top, and then I've got the whole bottom left to do. So, I mean, it might not be realistic for me to get it done next year, but I'm really hoping. I don't want to play with 40 count anymore. But I'm too far into this one to abandon it. Okay, this one is totally getting done next year. This is Autumn by Cross-Eyed Cricket / Cricket Collection. I feel like I say this every time I show this. I don't know, like the Cricket Collection is in really big letters and Cross-Eyed Cricket is in little letters. Like what makes something a cricket? Are there cross-eyed crickets that aren't the Cricket Collection? I don't know the answer to these things. Okay, so anyway, this is Autumn. I am stitching this on 32 count Meadow Rue by Lakeside Linen. And it's like so close, it feels silly not to get this one done. I'm missing an A and a U. That's it. Did I stop mid-bird? I did. There's gonna be like a raven here, and I stopped mid-bird. So, I mean, super close. I think that's, oh no, I did have one other project that I brought into this year from 2021. No, two more. Goodness gracious. But one of them was Sir Thomas by Glendon Place, and he is back from the framer. I'm gonna try to get, I am so, is he all in there? He is. He hangs out now on the shelf above my register at the shop, and I get to look at him all the time, and he makes me so happy. And I am so in love with this frame. I think it was perfect. And he sparkles. He's not gonna sparkle on camera for you because he's a little bit shy. You wouldn't know it because I mean he's pretty fancy and he looks like he likes to show off, but he's a little shy about his sparkles. So yeah, this is one of the things I am the most proud of ever that I have stitched. I love him so hard, so hard. And then I have Christmas Bells Sampler by Heartstring Samplery. I'm thinking very strongly that I might not know where that is. Hold on. What's in this project bag? Nope. I have been a discombobulated mess this month. Okay, here we go. This is the Christmas Bell Sampler by Heartstring Samplery. It is called to be stitched in Gloriana's, which I did not do. So I did like a fancy floss conversion, and I do remember what that is. So if you would like to know the conversion, shoot me an email and I will share it. Don't leave it as a message in the comments though, because I probably will not remember. I may or may not reply in the comments. I do read them, but I'm not always good at remembering to reply when I'm in front of my computer. What the heck did I stitch this on? 32 count, I think it's 36 count. It might be Dirty Teacup by Needle and Flax. So I am over halfway done with this. So again, I'm really hoping to push and get this one done. I'm hoping to get my WIP list down to 20 WIPs next year, but I have 9 planned starts, which I think calculates to mean that I have to finish 16 things next year. And I mean, considering I only finished 5 this year, that feels a little bit unrealistic. But I would like to finish more than I start, which means for sure I have to, so that I can start making a negative WIP list instead of a positive one. Which means if I do 9 starts, I have to finish 10 things next year. So I've been really thinking about what those things are gonna be. Okay, next up, I need to just get, okay, I am not gonna go on tangents. It's like my middle name. They make progressives that don't have a distance set part of your glasses, but have like so then you don't have to be taking your glasses on and off because it's annoying. I'm thinking about getting those so that glasses are just on my face all the time and I can just look down and read. Does anybody else have these problems where you don't really need distance, but you're tired of taking your glasses on and off your face to read? Anyway. Okay, what did I do next? That's the most important. That's what we're here for. Winter Day. This was my New Year, New Start for 2022. It is a real list kit, so everything is just what came with the kit. It is going to, it's got these cute little burbs. Oh my goodness. I think those are blue tits. They look like chickadees, but they're not. I think they're blue tits. I could be wrong. Although this one looks like a chickadee, but he could just be a female version of these guys. Whatever this is, we don't get them around me, so I'm not entirely sure. But my daughter watches YouTube where it's just like people who have live streamed their bird feeders, and the one that she watches all the time gets those, and they're adorable, but I don't know what they are. Anyway, this is 14 count white Aida, and here is where I am at. I've got one little bird, a bunch of snowy scene and some branches. I don't have any plans for a finish for this one. I am hoping to touch all my projects next year though, because I'm not entirely sure I touched all my projects this year. So I know I didn't, and some of those are the ones I abandoned. All right, next up is my first one that I abandoned for the year. So I had Peacock, Unicorn, and a Badger by the Scarlet Letter going, and it was on 40 count, and I probably only had like 10% finished, and I decided that that was not enough finished for me to continue to work on the 40 count. So I'm restarting it. It's one of my planned starts for next year, a restart. So I don't have it to show. It's the first one I decided that I was abandoning. So next up is a Tisket a Tasket. Uh-oh, where is it? Oh my goodness, I hope I didn't forget it at home. Where are you? Oh, here it is. It got smushed down at the bottom. Okay, a Tisket a Tasket by Rosewood Manor. This was one that we started on May Day back in 2022, and I had a whole stitch along, and I had it broken out into 14 sections that we could easily do, and it was reasonable chunks, and then I didn't finish it. I'm terrible. This is what it's gonna look like when it's done. This is 100% my main focus to get done next year. There is no reason that this is going to see 2026 as a WIP. It will be framed and on the wall by 2026. I am stitching it on 32 count flannel flower by Fox and Rabbit. And here's where I'm at. I mean, I could easily, I don't want to say easy because there is nothing easy about this project. In any one of these like little, like, there's probably like 5 different blues in here. It is a ton of color changing. It's going to be glorious when it's done, but it's not one of the most fun things I've ever stitched. But it's going to totally be worth it. And it will be done. It will be done in 2025. I feel like every time I make one of these videos, I say that about like 50% of the things I show. I'm pretty sure if I watch my 2023 recap video, I must say it for almost everything. Oh, I'm totally gonna get this done next year. And then I only got 5 things done. 5, that's it. Okay, I have a finish to show. I have 2 finishes to show. I like to show these in chronological order, but it just kind of makes sense for me to show both of these now. So this is Hector's stocking, which I started in 2022, and I finished it way back in January this year. But this is for my husband Kevin, and my friend Deb finished it for me. So we did some black velvet on the back, and we did this, I don't know what you call this. Is it like ticking? I don't know what this is. For the fabric people out there, you'll know what kind of fabric this is. I love this. I want to put this on the inside of all my stockings, which I didn't for the next one. But going forward, all my stockings are going to have that inside. So thank you so much to Deb for finishing this for me, because I have no sewing skills. He's fantastic. And then the other one, this was a start and finish this year for the new grandbaby, was Parker's stocking. I mean, I know it says David up top, but the chart is Parker's stocking, and we did this one with a red finish on the back. And we just did like a plain fabric inside, but that's okay because this one isn't living at my house. This one is going to go to my daughter's house. We're going to be filling it tonight with goodies for David for tomorrow, and I'm so excited. So one of the other planned starts for me for 2025 is to do a stocking for me. I haven't picked it out yet, but I had a childhood stocking, but I have not had a stocking as a grown-up, so I'm gonna make myself one. I'm very excited about it. Okay, then we have, these are all like falling. Fall on the Farm, which I don't think I touched this year. I'd like to try to get one block done next year. So it is a bunch of, it's like 9 of these little charts from Little House Needlework, and they all, you can stitch them separately, but they all stitch together to make, oh, that one's upside down. I love that one. See, that would stitch up so fast. There's no excuse, Pam, except that you have 50,000 other things going. I, for the life of me, cannot think of what this fabric is. I know it's 32 count, but I don't know what the color is. And here's where I'm at. I have two blocks done. That's it. When did I start this? September. This was my fall start for 2022. 2 years and I have 2 blocks done. It's unacceptable. So I would like to get a block done next year. Mostly because, so I have the Santa's Village from Country Cottage Needleworks that I had started ages ago, like way back in the 20-teens, and then had oriented it wrong on my fabric and abandoned it. And now I want to restart it, but I feel like I can't restart it until this one's done, because for whatever reason, I can only have like one of these, like, I don't know. Brains are funny things. Okay, then we have Bohemian Bliss by Carolyn Manning. That's what it's gonna look like when it's done, which maybe never, but that's okay, because this is, for me, this one is not like a one that I care about finishing. It's just one that's really relaxing to stitch. So there's no, like, this can forever stay in my WIP pile. And whenever I need just some really good block stitching, because it's been one of those days, this one comes out, because it is really nice block stitching where you can take out a length of thread and stitch the whole thing. And yeah, I am stitching it, I think, on 16 count something or other. I don't remember. But it's just a 16 count Ada from Swigart. And it really, I'm probably, if it ever does get done, gonna frame it right up to the edge. So like not really any fabric is gonna show. We're cruising. This isn't gonna take me very long at all, because I'm restraining myself from the tangents. Oh, it's still snowing. I did splurge because it's Christmas Eve and got myself a venti peppermint mocha frappuccino, which is like enormous, but it's Christmas Eve, so I feel like that's okay. Oh my gosh, it's delicious. Okay. Next up, I had the Lunar Witch by Autumn Lane Stitchery, and I abandoned that one too. I hadn't stitched on it this year at all, and it's one in which the pattern got messed up because it like stuck to my vinyl, and it made the whole thing made me cranky, and I'm abandoning it. I may at some point restart it, but it's off the WIP list for now. And then one of the other finishes I had this year was Touching the Autumn Sky by Mirabilia. I did this on 32 count Braying Donkey by Seraphim. I love her. So right now she is not on the wall. She's just kind of hanging out on my bureau, propped against the mirror in my bedroom. And every day when I wake up, I get to just look at her. And she makes my heart so happy. I will say, I'm not happy with the beads. So these are the called for beads, and they're really yellow, and I kind of wanted them to be a more goldy color. So I'm seriously considering unframing her and replacing the beads with ones I like better, and then having her framed back up, which feels really dumb, but we'll see. I'm gonna give it a little bit and see if it still bothers me, and if it does, I'm gonna take those out and restitch them. Yeah. I no longer have, which I realize now might be a problem. Maybe I don't have the chart anymore. So maybe I will not do that. So I don't have the chart anymore. The chart got raffled off. This is an out of print chart. The chart got raffled off at our retreat this year. And she raised $600 for our charity, which was amazing. And so I don't have the chart. I know usually every time I show her, I get some people asking me if I'd be willing to part with the chart, and I already have. So, but you can find her pretty easily. She comes up on eBay all the time. Usually she goes somewhere, depending, you can get her between like $75 and $150 on eBay for the chart. I will say, if you see her on eBay for like $15, and your alarm bell should go off, it's probably not a real copy. Occasionally though, you can get a really good find like that, but, and Mirabilia's don't, like, this is not gonna come in a PDF. Fair warning. Okay, where do I wanna put her? That is probably, between her and Sir Thomas, some of the, oh, my heat just shut off. I say this every time I make a video in the winter and also in the summer when the air conditioning's on. The only time it's not a problem is the spring and the fall. In the shop, the ceiling is open, like right up to the top. Like the heating system isn't covered. So it's really loud. There's nothing I can do about it except film in the cold, and I don't really want to film in the cold. Sorry. Yeah, so Touching the Autumn Sky and Sir Thomas, I think, are the things they're my favorite things I think I've ever stitched. And Touching the Autumn Sky was like I can now die a fulfilled stitcher. Like, she's the one I've always wanted to stitch. So I feel complete now. Oh my goodness. Okay, anyway, what is next on the WIP list? It is Gathering Together by Scarlet House. And there is really no excuse for this not being done, except that, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I find sometimes when I get really close to the end of something that I don't want to finish it. Like, the fun is gone. Finishing a project is not fun. And I'm not talking about fully finishing, which is finishing the end of a project is not fun. I don't like starting a project is fun. Finishing a project is not. Anyway, this is what she's going to look like. And I'm like so close. I am stitching this on, it's some sort of, I don't remember. It's a 36 count. I want to say something about a cat, tabby cat linen. Lichen might be the color. Okay. I got this whole project when I went to Hobby House in 2023. So like, we're like right there. It's so close. There is really no excuse for this not being done. I got to stick some buttons on. I got to finish a spool. Like, there's really not a whole lot going on left in this. So this is one of the planned finishes for next year, because this will be like an easy peasy lemon squeezy finish. And then I can check it off the list. I have buttons in here ready to go to be sewn on. Yeah, it's just not as fun to finish a project. Is anyone else like that? When you start a project and it's like wicked fun, and then once you've used like all the colors, then it's not fun anymore. Oh goodness. Okay. Next up is Quaker Gardens by Hello from Liz Matthews. And this almost made the abandon chopping block, because I'm just not 100% sure I like the floss I picked. I almost wish I had picked, okay, I should show the project. This is what it's gonna look like. Nope, that's upside down. This is what it's gonna look like when it's done, which I love. I think my blue is too light. here's where it's at. Let me fold the fabric over on itself, which the fabric is 36 count vanilla cream by Atomic Ranch. I love vanilla cream, by the way. It's one of my absolute favorite neutrals. I wish I had gotten some M&M silks. And I went with Sassy Sapphire. So it's this light blue. I wish that I had done this one. I wish it was dark like this. This is more my style. I'm trying to decide if I'm too far in to restart or if I should just restart it in a color I like. I don't know. Why is silk so staticky? I don't know. So it's entirely possible that when we get to the end of this year that this is going to be on the abandoned project list, because I'm not 100% sold on the floss I picked. It's a little too 80s country for me, that like blue color on this fabric. I don't know. And now that I'm thinking about it, I think that I'm probably, I don't know. It's just, I'm really far into it. Maybe it will be a pass along project and then I won't feel so guilty about it because somebody else can love it. Okay. Oh, we got some sirens going on. Itchy, I'm itchy. Sorry. I don't know if I should just wait. Oh, they went the other direction. Okay, so where are we at? Hello from Liz. Haunted by Kathy Barrett. This is what it's gonna look like. I can't, this is what got me. That like zigzag hill. She's got like a smaller chart in there too with the motifs set up a different way. But, although these little pumpkins on the bottom were some of the funnest things I've stitched. Okay, let's show her. Here it is. I am stitching it on 32 count oyster shell by Fox and Rabbit in the MPI silks, which it makes it really fun. And here is, I haven't even gotten to the fun zigzaggy tree yet, but these pumpkins, I can't. Those pumpkins were so fun. And then I don't know what this brick situation is. Is it like a crypt, a mausoleum? I actually think it might be a crematorium is what I've decided. I'm not sure. But I love this. This is a fun one. I'm running out of space. Okay. And then I have Miss Mary Mac by La Di Da. I love her. I am stitching her on 32 count rose gold by Black Cauldron. And I am stitching her with Belsois Old Crow. And I haven't gotten very far. That's okay. Here she is. I worked on her a little bit when I was at the Stitchin' at the Farm retreat in November because the border is sort of mindless. It's just repetitive. The border is kind of fun. And that's where that's at. This probably could be a finish next year. We'll see. 'Cause it's not very big. It's like a smallish, medium-sized project. A smallish, on the small end of a medium. Okay, or a big end of the small. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. My brain is now stuck on this. Okay. Where are you? Oh, next bag. Okay, then I have Dwelling Place by Teresa Kogut. This came out a couple times this year. Except I realized at the beginning of the year that I had a pretty big mistake. So then I had to take out a bunch of the border and restitch it. So it doesn't look like I've stitched a lot this year, but it's enormous anyway. So this is Dwelling Place by Teresa Kogut. I'm stitching it on 32 count. Freeze by Atomic Ranch. And here's where I'm at. So a lot of the top border, when I got to the end, I realized it was off and I had to take it out and stitch it over again. So it doesn't look like any much more has been done since I started it last November. So that's okay. This one, I have no plans, no timeline for a finish. So it can just continue to live in the WIP pile. It's really fun to stitch on. This is where I'd really like to get my WIP list smaller so that I feel like I can spend time on these projects I've started that aren't getting the love. I will say this year I had some pretty big goals for finishes, like Sir Thomas and Touching the Autumn Sky and the stockings. So I mean, and they were pretty big. They were ambitious finishes. So that's why a lot of my WIPs did not get touched very much this year, because I had big plans. All right, next up is my last abandoned project of the year. I had started the Charming Cow sampler by Little Robin Designs back in November of 2023. And I never touched it again after I started it. So I didn't touch it all this year. And I just have other projects that I am in love with on my WIP list. And I'm like, I don't love this enough to keep stitching on it. So it went the way of abandoned projects where, fabric gets salvaged and floss gets put away. Okay, next up is North Pole by Kathy Barrick. I love this Skinny Santa. I love this so much. I am stitching it on, I'm not entirely sure, Storm by Atomic Ranch. And here's where he's at. I worked on him a little bit this month, not a ton. I did deepen his coat. So I'm stitching him in the MBI silks, and his coat color is supposed to be this color. And I changed it to this. So I didn't want a peachy corally colored Santa. If you would like to know, I can actually probably tell you right now. What did I change it to? I changed it to NPI 207. So that's his coat. It is not called for. And now I'm kind of regretting my decision not to make it a little brighter, but he's fine. He's a good Santa. Okay. North Pole. Oh, and then this is when I started with my friend Tracy. This is a sampler for all seasons by Scarlet House. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. When the weather is hot, rainy, or cold, I look at my chart and stitch as I'm told. I love that. I love that. Okay. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm stitching this on a fabric that is 36 count. And other than that, I have no idea. I have no idea what I'm stitching this on. It is 36 count though, and it's probably Atomic Ranch, if I had to guess. And here's where we're at. Not very much is done. That's okay. That's okay. Sometimes you film these things, film a WIP parade, and you pull out your WIP and you're like, I really thought I had more done on this. I really thought I had like words started. I don't. So there's that. That's okay. I have to tell myself that. I mean, I only started this at the end of last year. This was my winter solstice start. So it's only a year old, and I had like big projects I had to get done this year. All right, and then my last start from last year, where the heck is it? Was Quilting ABCs by Erica Michaels. It is going to look like, oh shoot. I don't have what it's gonna look like when it's done, but that's what it's gonna look like when it's a lot of the way done. I am halfway done. This was my shop project that I worked on exclusively at the shop, and then I got bored with it in the fall and I started working on other things. But come January, this is back to being my shop project. It is not halfway done. Is it it's not halfway. I thought it was halfway done. It's not. It might be. I don't think it is. It is. It's halfway done. It's just about halfway done. This is not important. It is being stitched on 32 count antique white linen. It's super cute. I got tired of doing quilting blocks. Sometimes you just need a break. So this one lives at the shop, doesn't come home. So it should get put over here so it does not get brought home. Okay. And then everything else is from 2024. So this was my New Year, New Start this year. It is Serenity Harbor by the Bay. It is stunning. I need a picture. It is going to look like this when it's done. I'm stitching it on 32 count Atomic Ranch. It was originally a stitch along back when it came out. So it comes in like 12 parts, and I have like part 1 almost done, and that's it. So here's where we're at. I think this is a 32 count Dune by Atomic Ranch. I could be really wrong. And you need, if you are stitching this on 32 count, you need a whole skinny half. It's gonna be really long. Like, there's a lot of fabric going on here. But I have decided that I'm not starting things on 40 count anymore, which I think I made pretty obvious at the beginning of this video. And big projects that I know are gonna take me years and years and years are 28 or 32s. Ooh, it's really snowing now. Because I just don't trust that I'm not getting younger. My eyes are not getting younger. I don't like to stitch, I stitch with readers, but I don't like to stitch with a magnifying glass. They kind of make me nauseous, like a little seasick. I don't, like motion sick, that's the word I want. So 28 and 32 count for big projects is where I am moving forward. Okay, then I had a leap year start this year and a forest screw. I know a lot of people start long dogs on leap year, and I realistically was like, that's not gonna happen for me. So I went with and a forest screw. So the idea is that I stitch on it on the 29th every month. And a lot of times it's the 29th and the 30th, or the 29th through the 31st. And I'm hoping to have it done by next leap year. And I am stitching it on 32 count, although honestly it could be 28. I'm not sure. It's vanilla cream though by Atomic Ranch. It's going to be enormous, and that's okay. And here's where I'm at. It's like really fun. Every time you get a little tree done, it feels like a little mini finish. So that's going to be coming out shortly. Next week? Yes. Sunday? Maybe? Okay. And I already showed you Parker's stocking. That was a start and finish this year. And then I started a stitch along with my friend Louise. This was the Owl Forest stitch along this year, the mushrooms and toadstools. So I don't have a picture of what it's gonna look like. I was doing really well staying current with it, and then I fell behind. But here is where I'm at. So this is 30 count linen, and I got it from Owl Forest, like it's printed with all these like ferny kind of things. So I still have quite a bit to go. I think I'm gonna go back to doing like a Sunday stitch along day. So like Sundays are the day I work on stitch alongs. Maybe twice a month. Because I'm starting another stitch along in January. Fiber Arts Amy and Kitschy Whips are hosting a 2025 chatelaine stitch along. I'm gonna try to remember to put the information for this down in the description box. And my friend Louise roped me into, or I guess convinced me, we're not gonna say roped, convinced me that I really wanted to do a chatelaine stitch along. It's gonna be the Water Garden mandala. I've never started a chatelaine, but I figured I'm going to the chatelaine retreat in July, so I probably should have one going. I'm really excited. It's gonna be my new start. That doesn't sound right in my head right now. Anyway, so there's something about my friend Louise and stitch alongs that she's really good at the enabling. Anyway, and then the next one that I started, which is Sweetheart Hill by Plum Street Samplers. I can't find it. I searched everywhere back in November in my house because I wanted to take it with me to the retreat I was going to. And I couldn't find her then, and I couldn't find her today when I was packing up. I don't know where she is. I'm super aggravated. I know she'll turn up, but as of right now, she's missing. So I cannot show her to you. It's driving me crazy. Okay, next up is Blackbird by Mirabilia, which I was working on Sunday. This is what she's gonna look like. I am stitching her on 28 count soft fur by Atomic Ranch. And she's so fun. When I tell you, I want to stitch on her all the time. Oh my gosh. Here's where we're at. Right now I'm focusing on up here, like I'm stitching from the neck up. I want to get her head done and her hair, and then the whole top of the chart will be done except for back stitching and beading. And then I'm going to move down into the big part of her dress. I've moved down as it makes sense. Like if I have to pull a color on the top part of the chart, I'll carry it down because I'm not going to stop. But oh my gosh, she's like really fun. And I am totally in love with the fabric I picked. I can't. But then the new Mirabilia that's coming out, Mary Mary, she's going to be hitting the shop here pretty soon. I now want to start that really bad. So I have decided in my head that hopefully I can get Blackbird done this year, which is a little bit crazy. It's not going to happen. But in my head, I'm hopeful that I can get her done this year so that I could start Mary Mary as my solstice start this year. Because for whatever reason in my head, I can only have one Mirabilia / Nora Corbett going at any given time, which is dumb. I could have two, but then I would have to choose which one to stitch. And it's easier for me if I just have one. But if, I gotta tell you, I might break that rule and start Mary Mary for the solstice this year. Oh, somebody outside my shop was very excited. I don't know if you could hear that or not. Okay. And then I had a birthday start. Nope, I didn't. I had a fall start. I think I had two, no, just one. Two, one. Holy macaroni salad. I can't, where did it go? Here it is. I had one fall start. This was a little seasoning by the Irish Hare. This one, not the jack-o'-lanterns, this one. Above the shop are 2 apartments. And the back apartment, it sounds like it's nailing something to the wall right now. Can you hear that? That was fun. Okay, I am stitching this on 28 count. I think it's Smoky Pearl by Zweigart. And here's where we're at. I got a bunch of tree done. I am not doing this in the called for. Once upon a time, I was in the Forbidden Fiber Co. Floss Club. So, and I never use her floss, even though it's lovely, because I'm always stitching everything called for so it can hang in the shop. Except that this is out of print, so it doesn't matter what I stitch it with. So I did a whole Forbidden Fiber Co. conversion in one DMC. And then I had to go hunt the rest of these charts down, most of which I found on eBay and websites, but shoot, Sally. Oh my goodness. I think it was Sally. I'm a bad person sometimes, or I have a very mushy brain. Sent me a chart, and thank you so much for that. So now I have the complete, there's 5 of these little charts. So now I have them all. So that was my fall start from this year. And we're banging upstairs again. Then what happened? Then what did I do? Oh, then I went to Stitching at the Farm, which happens in Troy, New Hampshire, at East Hill Farm. It's the 4th year I've been to that retreat. It's really a fun time. I will tell you though, that it was not as stellar this year as it has been in past years. It was a little rough around the edges. Just the food, which was fine, was not quite at the standard that we've grown accustomed to the past few years. I am going to go again in 2025. I've already put my deposit down. It's in my calendar. But I will say, if I'm gonna think hard about going again in 2026, if 2025 is the same as 2024. And that's all I'm gonna say about the farm. I had a really good time. It is never a bad time when you are getting together with friends and stitching. It just was not quite the same standard as we were accustomed to in past years. But I did have a start while I was there. A few of us started Away We Ride by Blackbird Designs. I'm stitching mine on 32 count Endora by Needle and Flax. It is in dire need of being serged. And this is what I got done. I will say, I am totally in love with my fabric choice. I think this is gonna be a really fun stitch. On the interior of the design, the border was a whole lot of not fun. it doesn't flow. The border has no flow. So you're constantly having to like stop and carry your thread back under, and it was a little bit annoying. But the floss for this is just, I don't have it on a floss ring, so there's no beautiful way to show this off. But like, they're such fun colors, and it's gonna be really fun to stitch. And I love my fabric. And I almost didn't do the border because you could totally stitch this. Like you could stitch this just the interior. You don't need this outer border. But then I was like, if it hangs in the shop, I want it to be complete. Sorry, I need a little frappuccino. Can I just say that Starbucks' peppermint mocha is far superior to Dunkin's. It tastes fresh and minty, like Breyer's mint chocolate chip ice cream kind of mint. Okay. And then I had a birthday start. Where is my birthday start? A few years ago, Chris Cross Stitch sent me, because I like birds. Where the heck is it? Oh, here it is. This cute little chart. I can't. It's so stinking cute. Chickadee by Heritage Crafts. And now I'm gonna want to stitch, like there's other little burbs. Oh my goodness. I need to stitch them. But let's just focus on this. So this was my birthday start this year. And where is he? Come out, wherever you are. Oh, I'm looking for a separate piece of fabric. I started him on, okay. Here we go. I don't know what this is, what fabric this is. Oh, it's Dust Bunny. It's 32 count Dust Bunny by Fox and Rabbit. And I got a top of a chickadee head. He's so cute. He looks a little angry there. I think though, he's not gonna look angry. He looks angry now. He's not gonna look angry, I hope. But maybe it would be cute to have a disgruntled little chickadee. So that was my birthday start this year. And then I did a second birthday start for my sister, who's born the day after me. I am gonna be stitching her Nettles by Stacy Nash. And this is gonna be a finish this year. Not this year, next year, 2025. Because I wanna give it to her for her birthday in November. So I got some feet in and the bottom of a dress. So those were my birthday starts this year. And then I had 2 winter solstice charts because I'm out of control. So I planned to start, oops, didn't put chickadee back where it goes. I planned to start 12 Days of Christmas by Satsuma Street. That was my planned start for this year. Let me find it. This is what it's gonna look like. And I did start it on Saturday, which was the solstice. I am stitching it on 32 count white Lugana. I'm gonna fold this over on itself. And I got a box done. A box and a part of a flower. And then I couldn't resist Plum Street's new chart, Winter Moon. So this was an unplanned solstice start. I was trying to behave this year and not start things that I didn't already own, but I just couldn't. It just said winter solstice to me and I couldn't not start it. So I had a second start on Saturday. This is Winter Moon by Plum Street Samplers. I apologize for the glare. I am a sucker for a brick house, like hardcore. And then I love this moon. I love that moon. I love that moon. I'm thinking on whether I want to do it in like a toile so it sparkles a little bit. I'm not sure. I've got a long ways till I get to the moon because I decided to start from the bottom up. I am stitching it on Saltbush, 32 count Saltbush. Nope, 28 count Saltbush by Fox and Rabbit. And here is where I'm at. I realize that this is very close to the fabric color, but it's gonna get surrounded by white, technically whitewash. So it's not gonna matter that it blends in with the fabric because it's gonna stand out once it's surrounded by white. So 2 little small starts on my solstice starts, and that is it. That brings us to the end of my WIP parade. So I will talk more about my plans for 2025 in my first video of January, in my first video of 2025, which will be in January, because you know I'm going to want to show off Hawk Run Hollow as soon as it's done. And then that's it. I will mention briefly, because I don't have time to do a second video for this, we are having a Stitch New England retreat again in 2025. The details for registration are up on the website. I will put that down in the description box below. In-person registration starts on January 2nd, which is right around the corner. I think that's all I have to say about that. Yeah, I think that's it. It's still snowing. I mean, if it wouldn't be so disruptive, I'd turn the camera around and show you, but you know I don't edit, so that wouldn't make any sense. Holy moly, we are an hour in. I don't know how that happened. Okay, so I know that you're gonna see this after the holidays, and I hope that you had a wonderful holiday, whichever one you celebrate. And I hope that the rest of this year is amazing for you and that you get a lot of stitching in and that you have a happy new year. And I will see you all in 2025. Bye, everyone.